I start my speech. So today I'll be addressing, as a part of abstract concept, I'll be addressing the health, safety and environmental issues which had left an indelible mark in the world history of disasters. So now I'll start. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, good evening.
Good evening.
At the age of 15, my grandfather was just listening the All India radio on breakfast news. But he kept on listening the breaking news. And each and every breaking news, the fatalities, casualties, just rising, jumping and multifold. And he expressed his sadness to my family members, and each and every one heartbroken, saddened. At that age, I was not matured enough to understand, empathize the feelings of those victims suffered by horrific incidents. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to ask you to just close your eyes for a few minutes and just imagine that it's a late night in the dark, just lying on the bed, warm and comfortable, just listening the rhythm, gentle rhythm of breathing of the person nearby you. And your thoughts, thinking about the day of the past, moving, sliding, gliding between conscious and unconscious state. Slowly, the sleep blankets you. Suddenly, someone wakes up and screaming, "Come on, get out, get out!" Because something is stinging on his eyes and the nasal feels someone burning the chilies, and the invisible smoke engulfs the throat, scorches the throat, and enters into the lungs. Coughing! And breathing, wheezing, difficult to breathe. He continued to run, and each and every breath in agony. And became close to collapse, end of the world, helpless and helpless. In 1984, Bhopal city had an incident which is atrocious, in which the Union Carbide industry, due to its mechanical integrity failure, the gas leaked and surfaced on the earth. As a cool breeze, it started, picked up the pace, enters into the rest of the city, killing humans and animals, both awake and asleep. Thousands and thousands of people are rushing to the hospital, wherein Bhopal had only 2 government hospitals, and people were rushing, crying, yelling, shouting for the ailments. The doctors, duty doctors, were unable to respond to the patients, and they are not able to diagnose the situation, and they are not able to attempt to treat the doctors. The worst part is the medicine which was stored for the normal treatment was not enough and became scarcity. Ultimately, the administration, hospital administration, referred the case to military support. Immediately, the military started rushing. In the meantime, the corpses, the carcasses are just piling up. Ultimately, it left everyone into clueless. Military man dumped all the corpses, thousands and thousands of corpses, into mass burial. In 1984, the Bhopal city had a population of almost 9 lakhs, and more than 50% of this population had inhaled this horrific gas, which left too many medical complications even today. However, the tons and tons of chemicals are still lying in the factory, and these chemicals are not easily biodegradable. And acres of these lands surrounding the factory were totally polluted, contaminated. The inhabitants polluted water from the lakes, ground, and pond made them to affect worse generations and generations. The medical complications which they are suffering are respiratory problems, mental disorders, neurological issues, and still the generations are continuing with apathy. Even the study shows, scientific study shows, that disease, disabilities, and deaths of these inhabitants are still continuing, and they are not able to continue their work even for a few hours at the same time. They are totally becoming medically unfit. When you compare all the situations, one of the vulnerable reasons which they have found is the company management, because of its greediness for making profit, they have violated safety norms. There were human negligence and error. And the third, poor maintenance and operation strategy by the management. To conclude my speech, if you see that the worst tragedy was reported in the history of world. One of the worst disasters is Bhopal disaster due to methyl isocyanate, which is because of corporate malevolence. And still people are continuing with denial of justice and environmental crime as well as political apathy. As a Toastmaster, my intention is to make more awareness on this safety incident and make you to report everyone whatever you observe as a part of unsafe act or unsafe condition. Please report to the concerned authority to take necessary and corrective action at the time of need. Even a small mistake make the things worse, like disaster of Bhopal gas tragedy. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster.